Okay, so welcome. It's nice to speak at a gathering of so many people together, all teachers for that matter. So we are running a bold initiative, as Professor Upadhyay said, on English proficiency program. Okay, so it is running for more than 4 years. It is right now in the 5th year, and it started in a very poor manner, but has come up a long way. Now, the motivation for this program is to see around that lots and lots of people nominally educated, BA, BSc, BCom, MA, MSc, MCom, MPhil and what not. People all the time needing English, using English and using English in a bad manner, bad way, not efficient and not correct, and because of that at every step of their career in life they get slowed down. Okay. And much older was the problem of having to guide PG students, guide them into writing a thesis and technical papers and encountering lots and lots of mistakes in their drafts. And this was something which a few of us found not acceptable. So, we started this English proficiency program, and through years we have developed a few assets. One asset is, actually there was a big problem in the sense that how to teach mathematics, how to teach physics, things are somehow systematized already. There are good nice textbooks, good nice courses and so on. For English there are many courses and many textbooks, but the way English is taught in schools is something by which nobody learns a language. Okay. If you say that 10 years of the life of a person, every year he is given 10 stories to read and 5 poems to read and then answer questions from that. If that is the only encounter of the person with a language, then after 10 years you expect that he knows that language. That does not happen, right, you know that. So, I started thinking how we can have a method by which we will end up successfully teaching English to people. Then I also had to think, how did I learn, or how did these people learn whose English I respect, and if I want to teach somebody English, then what are the things that need to be actually taught, and what are the practice, what are the exercises that the learner has to essentially do. The result is a complete course material. Okay. This lesson must be taught, this lesson must be taught. And Professor Upadhyay told that how to teach English to people. I actually make it a little more limited. How to teach English to people whose mother tongue is not English. Okay. That is the idea, because if you are from UP, then or Bihar or MP, then teaching you Hindi is a different thing. On the other hand, if you are from Tamil Nadu or Kerala or perhaps Ethiopia, then teaching you Hindi is a completely different game, right. So, the language which you use since your childhood, so the language which you use to express yourself since your childhood, to play with your friends and particularly to fight with them, okay, learning that language is one thing. On the other hand, some language which you encounter only in books, only in meeting, only in classroom, okay, that is a different ball game. So, we assumed, we accepted from the beginning that learning of English is an artificial thing for an Indian, okay, because for playing with his friends, for playing with his for fighting with his friends, he does not use English. Okay. So, when he finds himself under a gross threat, English does not come out of his mouth. Okay. He does not dream in English. So, teaching English to Indians is a different thing, it is an artificial thing. So, any acquired language, when you acquire, it is a different kind of exercise. So, we accepted that from the very beginning, and then we tried to work out what are the things that need to be taught and in what manner, in what order. As a result, we developed a complete course material. Okay. And then other assets started building up. Right now, the way I see English proficiency program, there are 4 assets that it has. One is a well structured instruction material. 2, the execution, the implementation of this entire course material in the form of a 40 session video course, okay, which is regularly given now online, which is a lecture demonstration kind of implementation. In that, in under one heading, under one banner, I am trying to do 2 things. One, through that same course, I am trying to improve the English of a participant, and at the same time, through that same thing, I am trying to orient and instruct a potential teacher how to teach her students English. Okay. So, in the under the same banner, we are executing it and also instructing someone else how to execute it. Okay. So, that is this course. It is called Practical English Learning and Teaching, learning and teaching together. The idea is that you do not know something if you cannot teach it. You get my point? So, I have found that if somebody asks, do you know this subject, do you know control theory, do you know robotics, do you know optimization, do you know CAD, do you know differential equations? So, unless I have the confidence that I can teach it, I hesitate to say that I know it. Okay. This is one thing. And in my own life, I have found that if I want to learn something, okay, and I am just simply not getting the time, I am simply being lazy, and I want to do something by which I will certainly learn it, then for me, I have found the best strategy is to make a commitment to somebody that I will teach you, do not worry. Okay. So, if I want to learn control theory, then the best way I can do it is by teaching, by committing to somebody that do not worry, do not think that control theory is difficult, I will teach you. The moment I say I will teach you, it becomes necessary for me to learn it, okay, and then I will learn it and then teach it. So, learning and teaching actually go together. So, this is the second asset. So, first asset that we built in EPP was the course material, and then the execution of that material into a 40 session course. There are 2 more assets that we built. One is a test. Actually, we have developed several tests. There is a link you will see, Test Your English. Okay. So, we conduct a test 4 times a year here called Test of English as a Functional Language. Okay. And see, the idea is that those whose English is strong, they can help, okay, in teaching others. On the other hand, those whose English is weak, they should take some time and improve it. How to know whether your English is weak or strong? Okay. Or for that matter, somebody comes and tells me, sir, I want to help you in your course. Okay. I do not know how good is his English. On the other hand, somebody comes and says, sir, I am thinking whether I should take your course or not. Now, if his English is much better than mine, then it does not make very good sense to ask him to take the course. So, how to know? Okay. So, we designed a few tests. The standard test that we designed is this, Test of English as a Functional Language. Through that, and designing a test, developing the structure and format of a test is not trivial. So, we worked out a format, a pattern of a test, which we can repeatedly conduct for hundreds of people, and in a very objective manner make an assessment of how good is somebody's English. For example, right now you are 100 people. If the organizers say that we will how good is your English, within a span of 1 hour I can conduct the test, and within a span of 1 week I can declare the result that this person has this level of English and this person has this level of English, and everybody will know his own score and nobody will know the score of anybody else. Okay. There is something interesting we do here. The way we declare the TOEFL result is this: at the time of conducting the TOEFL, we give each participant a 4-digit code. Okay. So, maybe your code is 5963, next person his code is 1024, his code is 7392, something like that. At the end of the test, you are supposed to note down that code, 4-digit code number, submit the answer sheet and go. And then finally, we declare the result in this manner. Code number, grade, and whether you are eligible for an advanced test. So, you see the top 5 people here are not eligible for the advanced test because their grades are C, D, 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 E. This person is eligible because his grade is A. Do you see? So, those people who get a TOEFL grade of S, A and B, we say that their English seems to be good. How good? We have to figure out. S means excellent, beautiful English, powerful English. A means good, that means he knows English almost completely, and whatever he reads he will understand, and if he wants he can teach. B means adequate, that means that his English is all right for his own purposes, his life will go happily with his English, it is adequate, and perhaps he can assist in teaching. On his own perhaps he cannot teach. Okay. So, if somebody gets a TOEFL score of S, A and or B, then we say that he is eligible for this other test, advanced English proficiency test. In advanced English proficiency test, those who qualify, we give them a certificate, and in that we say that his English is excellent, his English is good, his English is adequate and reasonable. Okay. So, this is the third asset that we built in EPP, and the fourth asset was the EPP team. Through years, by finding out people whose English is good and who want to join their efforts with us to improve the English proficiency level of the people in the country, we have developed a team, and the entry into the team, that is a very well guarded process. In the team, before taking anybody, if somebody comes and says that I want to join your team of the English proficiency program, first thing we do is that we ask him to sit for a test. Okay. And we have sent back many people also, and it is a dedicated team through whose efforts we could bring it to this stage. Now, we are in such a position that if an organization says that, or an institution says that we want you to conduct your test on 200 of our staff or 2000 of our students and come out with a result of how good is English, their English, we can do that. I mean any time, just we have to be free at that time, any time it is told we can do that. If some organization says, if some college says that for 20 of our teachers or for 200 of our students you conduct this 4-month course, or no, we do not want a 4-month course, we want a 3-month course, no, we want a 1-year course. Same thing we can scale up and down and conduct for any collection of 50 participants, 200 participants, 500 participants, anytime we can do that. We have brought ourselves to that position. The difficulty is not there, actual difficulty is somewhere else. First difficulty, people do not accept that their English is weak. Second, people, particularly adults, do not stick to an effort. Okay. See, when you were children, just put your hand on your chest and truthfully say that if your parents had given you option, my darling child, I give you the option, would you like to go to school or not? How many of you would go to school? Majority will not. Okay. There I am an exception. I loved to go to school. Okay. Not for study, because school was the place where I used to meet my friends. He also, you see. Okay. It was a school where I used to meet so many friends. Okay. But I was exception in another way. I like to read. I like to read books. Okay. Not necessarily textbooks, preferably the textbooks of my elder sisters. Okay. So, but then if children are given option, then very few children will go to school. So, learning is not all the way fun and game. Nowadays, some great researchers in the education process say that learning and teaching should be, interesting, it should be fun and so on, but actually it is nothing of the sort. Any learning requires a little bit of discipline. Okay. Even when you are going to learn driving or swimming, in a disciplined manner you have to execute the instructions of the person who is instructing you, the coach. Okay. And there you say, no, I have a great fun in turning the steering like this. Okay, do it. Okay. So, it does not work. So, the problem with adults is that they have options. Okay. Today, shall I watch TV or shall I go to meet my relatives or do this assignment? You have that option. Okay. Adults have that option. And not only you as teachers, do not forget that your students are also adults. Okay. They are not captive. So, in class 5, class 6, class 7, we were more or less captive. Okay. So, first, people do not like to admit that their English is weak. Second, they do not make sustained effort. Third, when they take up the task of doing something, they make casual efforts. Okay. Because of these things, it quite often happens that people, even after registering in our course, we find that some lessons they go through, some lessons they do not go through, some assignments they submit, some assignments they do not submit, some assignments they submit without looking at the lesson, without looking at the video lecture. Okay. That also happens, and so on. And that is one reason why the program is not an overall roaring success, and that is precisely the reason why English deficiency is there. Because if people were very particular that now I will improve my English, then they would have already improved their English before the program came, and the program would not be needed. Okay. So, now you will ask me that, suppose sir, if somebody takes up your course and actually in a disciplined manner puts in effort, then how much improvement is possible? Okay. And has it happened for anybody? There the answer is that yes, that has happened. What we did is that this entire English proficiency program course we embedded in a communication course in this institute. Okay. And we offer that course as an institute course, standard institute course. And once an IIT student registers for a course, the grade of which will be written in his transcript, then he becomes a little serious. He prefers to get an A or B in that. He likes to have a good grade in that, because it will reflect in CPI. Not that everybody stays firm on the line, but then a good number of them make active effort. And we found, and through this course we wanted to test how good is our course. Does English really improve through this course? I mean, being scientists, we wanted to test the thing rigorously. Just because we have designed the course, we all the time say the course is great, course is great, course is great. No, we don't do that. We test our hypothesis. Okay. So, through this institute course, I wanted to test that if students put in actually enough effort, then how much improvement is possible. And in order to measure this objectively, what we do is that in every semester we conduct that standard test twice, once in January, once in March in this semester, and in the other semester once in August, once in October. And those students who have registered for this course, we make it mandatory for them to appear in both, and we see the difference. How was his English in the beginning of the semester and how was his English at the end of the semester, towards the end of the semester. And through that we have found that several people who had a D grade in the beginning showed B grade at the end. That means he has jumped one grade. And then we saw how many assignments he has submitted. We find that out of 40 assignments, he has submitted 37. Okay. We said that we will grade only, we will give you the marks based on the best 30. Okay. And many people tried to submit at least 30. Okay. There are people who were C in the beginning of the course, in the beginning of the semester, that means deficient English, and then at the end of the course they were A. As we look back, how many assignments he submitted? Out of 40, 39. Okay. There are people who started with B, ended with B. We look back, how many assignments he submitted? 22. Okay. So, then we know. And then I mean that happens. That is the typical statistics that we found, that those who have actually gone through the course seriously, they did make an improvement. Okay. So, right now as I said that, and the one of the reasons why Professor Upadhyay called me to give an orientation of this is basically that which I told you earlier, that any institution, any organization says that conduct this test for these people and conduct this course for these people, whatever be the number, we have brought the program to a position where we can take up the challenge and conduct it. You bring 2000 people who want to do the course, we can execute it. Okay. Now, if you have any questions, because he is impatient, he wants me to leave quickly. So, if you have any questions, please ask, because quickly I have to answer and quickly leave. Now tell me.
Any fees for this, sir, from the student point of view?
Does he have to bother about that?
Fees, you don't have to bother.
Yeah.
If you have to have fees, we'll see.
Yeah. So that he will take care of.
That's the least of your concern.
Online
Okay.
platform, or is it an interactive course with the instructor?
Actually, the main thing of the course is online. Okay. And we did it so that our audience is not limited to people who can be in the same classroom with us.
I'm from CFL and I also taught in a similar course of proficiency for English. We used to do it both ways, like we used to also have some
Correct. Yes.
class sessions.
Yes, we have that also.
Okay.
So, the main part of the course is online, and purely online the course can be executed, but if there are certain classroom sessions also along with the online resources, that is best.
So, we
That is
talked
best.
about the MOOCs platform and the flipped classroom mode.
Right.
This is what he has been also experimenting
Yeah, I
with.
spoke to Prabhakar sir as well, but it's unseen.
Yeah, and just now I was talking to him that the best way this course can be executed is through online, but with a few interaction sessions, in which after a good amount of online thing, whatever has been done till that point can be consolidated in the meeting. Yes, that is the best way to do it. We have that in mind. Anything else?
We can discuss over chai.
Yes.
Dinner में आओगे ना कल? नहीं आना।
मैं केवल काम करता हूँ, खाता नहीं हूँ. Any other question quickly? No? Okay. So, you note down this website address. Okay. And you can have lots and lots of information. And in fact, there is also a link to volunteer and join the team. Okay. Thank you.